Greetings and welcome to another episode of The Listening Room on Sea of Tranquility. I'm Chris Canzoneri. You've probably seen me on shows like Hudson Valley Squares, In the Prague Seat, and the long gone but not forgotten Guitarist Corner. Pete had asked us to produce some of our own shows, and I'm taking my shot. It's my turn today. I've got a pretty big stack of albums here. I've got a few that I've listened to pretty extensively that I'll talk a little more about. And then I've got the stack that I got at Princeton Record Exchange, which you probably saw us visiting on our little pizza and record store video. I have not had a chance to give any of those records more than a cursory listen, but I'll run through that haul from that day and you can check out what I got. So here we go. This is the first album right here. This is called Autumn Blow by Sadao Watanabe. This guy is a saxophone player from Japan. This glare is annoying, but this is a live set. This is featuring him and Lee Ritenour, Patrice Rushin. You know, it's a pretty star-studded affair right here. This guy, he is on that Teramasa Hinu live album that Pete has talked about, and he smokes on that. This record, a little bit lightweight, a little bit upbeat, happy music, but Ritenour and Rushin both kill on this. Nice little record. It was only $6. Worth the pickup if you're into sort of mid 70s lighter jazz live music. Um, Not bad. And I thought this was a joint at first, but it's not. You can turn around in the back. It's a Gaulois cigarette. Now, I quit smoking 20 something years ago, but I tried Gauloirs and they were the most disgusting cigarettes I've ever had in my life. But I digress. Next one. This is By All Means by Alphonse Mouzon. This is on this PA USA label, which I've bought a few records from. This is an Italian label that pretty much featured Italian movie soundtracks for the most part, but they released jazz albums in the US. This one, you can see Herbie Hancock, Freddie Hubbard, Lee Ritenour. Um, Another great lineup. This one's kind of funky, little bit disco-y, but nice jams here. And I never saw this album before. I picked it up. Might be worth checking out. Another cheap one. So, and that one next led me to pick up this Alphonse Mouzon, sorry, which also features Lee Ritenour and Freddie Hubbard and Herbie Hancock on the PA USA label. And I've learned that this album is not like the other one, and Alphonse sings and plays keyboards on this, and this album pretty much sucks. So you can skip right on by this one. Forget it. Forget you ever saw it. Next up is Live in Montreux by Didier Lockwood, another PA USA release. This album is absolutely smoking. I wish it was a double live album. It's only a single album. This guy, on the back of this record, they're calling him, the super Jean-Luc Ponty, the next coming of Jean Coltrane. I said Jean because, this is a French album. But, the next Coltrane, super Jean-Luc Ponty. This guy is amazing. I didn't really get the Coltrane comparisons because while he's blazing fast, I think he's a little more melodic than Coltrane ever was. But this is a fantastic album. The bass player on here kills. The saxophone player is Bob Malik. This guy wails. And we also have Jan Hammer on here playing. He only gets two solos on this record, but he absolutely smokes. And when he's not soloing, he's mirroring Didier's lines a lot of the time. And this is a great one. Check it out. Find it if you can. Didier Lockwood live in Montreux. This next one, this is the answer to the question that I'm sure you've all asked. What would it be like if Pink Floyd actually came from Japan? This is the Far East Family Band, The Cave Down to the Earth. This record is absolutely ripping off Pink Floyd so hard that I'm not even mad about it. All the writing on here is in Japanese, but I swear to God, the guitarist's name is Gilmore-san. This is they like rip off Astronomy Domine almost note for note, but I don't care. Great album. I love the cover. This is very fun. Um, you know, I think when they were doing this, they probably assumed that this music would never make its way out of Japan, but it has. And this is an interesting piece of music history to own. But yeah, this is the Japanese Pink Floyd. So if you're into that, maybe seek it out. So those are the records that I have listened to extensively. The next thing, I've got a couple actually. Pete Pardo gave me this, Sergeant Thunderhoof. I gave it a quick little scan. Killer doom metal. Really interested in checking this one out further. And also the newest Dream Theater. This I've listened to once. Welcome back, Mike Portnoy. Excellent, heavy, tons of riffs. Very good album. Return to form. Love it. I'm sure probably most of you out there have already heard it. So, on to the haul from Princeton Record Exchange. Some of these were, things I picked out myself. Other stuff, Ken Golden just stuck in my hand. This is one of those. Harold Wana. This band is a throwback. I think this album came out in 91. It's called Higher. These guys sound like they're straight out of the 70s. They are heavy. They sort of almost remind me of the Pretty Things when they were doing more psychedelic kind of stuff. There's a heavy psych element on this. Very cool. Looking forward to getting much deeper into this one. We also have Trace by Rick van der Linden, Jaap van Eyck, and Pierre van der Linden. This is very cool organ music, very proggy, sort of fusiony. There's all kinds of influences going on here. This came out in 1974. Very cool album, very interesting. And as you can see, $3.99. The price is right. Definitely going to be rotated heavily in the future. Next from PREX, Phil Manzanaro's 801. Needs no introduction. Everybody knows this album. Phil from Roxy Music. Another very well priced album that I didn't have in my collection, so I grabbed it. Now we've got Hammer. This is a band from San Francisco. This album was made in 1970. This is cool, heavy rock. Uh, didn't get a chance to listen to a lot of the tunes on here, but one of them, the guy like scats his ass off. He's all like scoobly bap bap bap, that kind of shit. Interesting in a heavy rock setting. Cool album. Dig it. Next up, The Cry by the Prince Lasha Quintet with Sonny Simmons. This is a Craft Recordings reissue. Killer spiritual jazz. Not a really well-known album, but if you go to like the Jazz Dispensary website, they do a great write-up on here. This is a fantastic album. Pick it up if you see it and you like, if you're a jazz fan. Then we have got Rhythms from a Cosmic Sky by Earthless. This is one of their earlier releases, 2007. This is just, an hour, nearly hour long, sludgy, doomy, heavy jam. The guitarist is excellent. Everybody probably already knows about this band. I have never seen this on vinyl, so I grabbed it. Killer record. Love it. So, part of the collection now. Next up, Caldera. Everybody's probably heard their first album. They have a few more. They aren't streaming. I had never seen this one before. Ken slapped it into my hand. Have not had a chance to check this one out, but we all know what Caldera is all about. Can't go wrong. Looking forward to hearing this one. Visitor by Coriolanus Dans. This is a cool fusion, cool jazz rock fusion. I believe this has been reissued fairly recently. This one I had heard before. $5. Why not? Great record. You're probably going to be able to pick this one up if you're interested. This one, my east is your west. Sometimes I say your east is my west, which is wrong, but here, my east is your west by Sarathi Korwar and the Upaj Collective. This Sarathi Korwar is a contemporary jazz artist. He is a percussionist, I believe. He put together a group of Indian musicians, and on this record, they cover, lots of spiritual jazz masterpieces. Stuff by Pharoah Sanders, Joe Henderson, Alice Coltrane. I believe they do a Ravi Shankar track on here. All very interesting, very unique takes on these songs. This album sounds great. This is a masterpiece, very important album to me now that I own it. Fantastic. If you can find this, check it out, especially if you're into spiritual jazz, with updated world flavor. This is a very, very good album. Love this one. All right. From the sublime to the ridiculous. This is Marco Benevento. I've already forgotten the name, and you'll from Swift. You'll know why. Marco Benevento is the piano player in a band called Joe Russo's Almost Dead. He's excellent. I'm sure Joe Russo's Almost Dead will be mentioned or appearing on a episode of Eric's Jam Band show eventually. I would just assume. He's fantastic in that band, but apparently when he's not doing J-Rad stuff, he's making this kind of fucking garbage. This is, I took a chance. I hadn't heard this. I knew the name. I love his piano playing, but this is like alternative rock. I don't know what he was trying to do here, but what he succeeded in doing was making me hate this album. This sucks. Don't buy it. Nobody's perfect. Everybody makes mistakes. I fucked up on this one. If you're interested, I'll sell it to you. $100. Why not? Next up, Sonny Fortune's Serengeti Minstrel. This is from 1977, I believe. I've only had a quick run through this. Sonny's a saxophone player, legendary. This is very groovy. I only listened to one song. I dug it, but I'm looking forward to digging into this one too, as I am in the rest of this stack. Then we've got Thomas Almqvist, Unknown Tracks. This has a real world flavor. Um, this looks like, I don't know, people from Peru maybe. This is cool. Haven't had a chance to really dig into it too deeply. Very interesting. Looking forward to this one too. And last but not least, Pierre Cardin presents the Jean-Luc Ponty Experience. I don't associate Pierre Cardin with music. I, associate them with stinky cologne and skinny ties and dumb-looking pants from the 1980s, cheap wallets, shit like that. But apparently they're into Jean-Luc. So this one is from Montreux in 1972. I have not had a chance to spin this at all yet, but I have a feeling about this one. At least it's going to smell good, but should be good. Gonna check it out. And that is what I got from PRX, PREX, however you want to say it, and a few things that I've been listening to that I've gotten on other trips. I've been on like 3 excursions over the last month. I've got a giant stack of stuff. This is probably half of it. But maybe I'll do another one of these and let you know about the rest. But in the meantime, check out Sea Tranquility on the web, on Facebook, and on YouTube all the damn time. Don't forget to like and subscribe. This is Canz signing out. See you on the next one.